me introduce myself. My name is Isnaini Widayasih. I'm 18 years old and I study at Poltekkes Kemenkes Yogyakarta. And now I will tell you a story about Snow White. Check it out! Long time ago, there lived a beautiful princess in a very big palace. She is very beautiful with her blue eyes, long black hair, and white smooth skin. She was called Snow White. She had a stepmother who always envious of her beauty. Her stepmother was also beautiful, and the magical mirror always said that every day and every time she asked, "Mirror on the wall, who is the woman beautiful in the world?" Her stepmother asked, "You are the most beautiful woman in the world, my majesty." The magical mirror answered. One day, her stepmother asked to the magical mirror again, but the answer of the magical mirror made her angry. "Mirror on the wall, who is the most beautiful in the world?" The stepmother asked the mirror magically. "My queen, you are beautiful, but Snow White is more beautiful than you." The magical mirror answered. The stepmother was very angry. Then she asked her trusted servant to bring Snow White to go away from the big palace here and kill her. However, the servant didn't kill Snow White. He let her go by herself. "Please, don't kill me. I will go to the woods and I will not come back again," Snow White begged. "Go away, poor princess," the servant said. The servant thought that wild animals would eat her, and Lady Snow White made his heart relieved and free from the pressure. In the forest, Snow White was alone and afraid. She didn't know where she had to go, but suddenly she saw a small peculiar cottage. He wondered who lived here, and then she decided to go inside it. In the cottage, there are 7 beds and a kitchen. Snow White was very tired and suddenly she fell asleep. In the afternoon, 7 of the dwarfs who lived in the hut went home. They were surprised then see a young woman there. One of the dwarfs roused her and asked who she was. Snow White told them her sad story. The 7 dwarfs also understood her feeling and asked her to stay with them in the cottage. Meanwhile, at the palace, the servant went back and told the stepmother that Snow White had been killed. Then, the stepmother asked the magical mirror once again who the most beautiful in this world. And still, magical mirror answered Snow White is the most beautiful woman in this world. The stepmother was very angry and her planned something bad for Snow White. Then the stepmother disguised herself as an old woman who sold a bucket of poisonous apple and go to the cottage. In the cottage, Snow White was warned not to open the door to strangers by the 7 dwarfs. The stepmother finally arrived to the cottage and began offering the apples to Snow White. "I can't open the door and let anyone come in. The 7 dwarfs have warned me," said Snow White. "Okay, I just want to give this apple to you." "No, I can't take anything from someone," Snow White explained. Snow White refused to open the door, but the stepmother continued to persist. Ultimately, Snow White opened the door and poked an apple, then she ate it. Therefore, Snow White was poisonous. Therefore, Snow White was poisonous when an apple fell beside her. Then the 7 dwarfs decided to make bedding for Snow White that was made of a beautiful crystal to make her alive. Every day, 7 dwarfs waited for miracles that when Snow White would be wake up. One day, there was a prince of a kingdom who saw a beautiful woman was laid on the bed of a crystal. She was also asking the dwarfs to tell what happened, and Dwarf told it. Let me help Snow White, and I will give you everything you want, the prince asked. However, the 7 dwarfs refused it. They didn't want to be separated with Snow White even though he would pay by gold in this world. I asked it really much because I can't live without seeing Snow White. If you agree, I will bring all of you, and also I take you as my brother, said the prince. Finally, the 7 dwarfs agreed. Then the prince kissed Snow White to show his intention. Suddenly, Snow White was awake. The fact was that the kiss from the prince broke the evil spell. After that, the prince asked her to get married with him. Snow White said yes. Since that day, Snow White lived in the prince's big palace happily ever after. Thank you for your attention. This is a short storytelling for me about Snow White. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.